This is the 1 hour capsule.
Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it.
All right, so we're doing this set of episodes because Tierno had a good idea about recording stuff about things that just bug us, annoy us. To have like a whole series of this. And so, yeah, we're here. What do you guys?
You know, a lot of shit
Just,
annoy you when you're gonna have a series of things.
right. So,
We need a volume, man.
You
Like
need volume. This is
10
chapter
episode of
one.
this. Yes. Oh my gosh, so many on my mind right now, man. I can't even tell you. Like I have it set up for like every kind of decade, like 90s, to early
Oh,
2000s. Like, oh god. Oh,
that's good
why
for
don't we
you. I
just?
barely remember what I did yesterday.
damn. All
So
right.
So out of all the things that annoy us, let's say, what is the number one if you had to pick it? And you put a gun in your head and say, like, tell us what is the number one thing that annoys you the most.
mm,
Unreliable people, that's all for me. Like we talked about this, right?
Yeah.
Just, getting either a promise from someone or anything that was scheduled with a person and then last minute, yo, man, my bad. I have something else to do.
mhm.
Yeah. Because I feel like sometimes the people that do that have done it before, usually.
100%.
And so they kind of have this history of that they have done it. And so, like, you kind of expect they would do it. So when they do it, and then you're like, okay, this cue seems a little bit like iffy. How do you address, like, because sometimes it's like so obvious, right?
Hmm.
That
Yeah,
their excuse is like, I won't say fake, right? There's like, okay, your excuse, at least you're not even trying to hide it that much. It's just so openly not believable what you're
you know,
saying.
it's
But I
crazy. It's like I feel like it's almost like a cultural thing to a degree
Mm,
in certain places because I don't see it happening. Like when I say, as I talked about before we started recording, a lot of times I make plans with people and I just expect them to cancel on me. So like I don't even make plans. Like I'm the type of person, if I make plans with you, like I'm gonna stick with them no matter how, unless I'm like really sick or feel really bad. But like for the most part, it's happening. It's going down. But I think that I say culturally in the particular cities because I have that expectation with anybody I come across. It's not just like one person, one particular person that I try to make plans with, and then they may cancel or reschedule or whatnot. It's just literally anybody, a large, I would say like 90% of the people I've come across in the city. That's just the interaction that I plan to have, and and then when you do find those people that are reliable, you tend to gravitate towards those people more, and you tend to plan more things with those people because you know that more than likely and it's gonna happen. You're gonna hang out.
mm,
Yeah, and I think also the people who cancel, sometimes they may not realize that while they cancel that, that's actually not doing good for them, because it's not only like you build up a reputation of canceling all the time, but also like give me an example, like yesterday, right? I was invited to one of my friends' home, and as you know, yesterday in Toronto was raining like crazy all day long. And I bike everywhere, so I like, if I'm gonna go somewhere around downtown, I'm gonna bike, and if it's raining, it kind of like, do I really want to bike in the rain like that? It's pouring rain. And so like the thought in my head crossed, like, do I make up an excuse to like not go, even though like we've been talking about getting together, and it's gonna be fun, and like, so I was struggling in my head, like it crossed my mind to say something like, I don't know, like, I have cleaning to do in my home, and like it's raining. It's like so many excuses you can just create, right? But I was just fighting with myself. I was like, you know what, like, you, if you go, maybe it's gonna be more fun actually than if you stay, because if you stay, you're gonna feel a little bad. You're gonna, at the end of the day, be alone in your home when you could be, sharing some time with your friends and have great times, build up good relationships. And so it's like I just like struggling in my head, but I at the end of the day, I just say like, I am going, and even though I'm gonna be a little late, I apologize. And indeed, I went there. I went to my friends. Like I overcame this mental thing, and I had a great time
Hmm.
So wait, why were you not gonna go again?
because it was raining like crazy, and
You
I
know what
was
I'm about to
late.
say to you, Norman?
Just tell me,
I know it's coming. Go ahead.
I
tell me.
find that when people say they're not gonna go somewhere because it's raining is the lamest excuse
Yep.
Well,
that you could possibly come up with. Were you gonna bike?
I wasn't gonna say that I'm not going because it's raining. I was gonna say because
N-
I had
No,
an
but we
issue.
know what your excuse is, right?
w-
He doesn't know.
No, 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 no,
no,
no.
no.
But I wouldn't say, I wouldn't use rain as an excuse not to go, though. I would have said something else.
But
I'm
it
just
was the
saying.
rain, though, right?
But in reality, yes, just as to myself, that the rain did play a role in my head.
So
To one
you were gonna use a rain as a cop out though to not attend something.
for my head, yes, for my own decision making.
Listen, man.
Okay.
If that was a girl, I'm pretty sure rain ain't gonna stop you, bro. It just
Bro.
depends. It depends on what kind of meeting you're having, or what kind
Well,
of thing you're scheduling. But
it was a friends meeting with people that I know that I had a very great time before.
mhm.
hmm
And so I just like overcame it because I remember like if I go, I know I'm gonna have a good time. These people are great people.
Can you stand the rain?
And at the end, and at the end of the day, this whole experience, proved me wrong because like I had this thought that I'm gonna cancel, like, because
hmm
we were just talking about how people cancel, and
hmm
I'm just saying like if people can overcome that, maybe they'll realize that they're actually it's better if they don't cancel because actually it's gonna turn out to a better outcome, and so
But you know
maybe like
what? On that note, I should give like a little uh, disclaimer to what I said earlier. That I do understand, like people be going through stuff too that we don't be knowing about, which could
Mhm.
mm,
also be a factor in their decision to not want to do the plans that they made to do. Not that that's always the case. I do feel like that a lot of people, something that seems much better came up and they want to do that thing now. And then there are a small percentage of people that have um, emergencies that come up, things that come up. And this is gonna sound bad, but I feel like it is a small percentage of people that
yeah,
stuff happens to. Um,
yeah,
but I do want to give I do want to acknowledge the fact that I understand that sometimes people's moods, how they're feeling, things they're going through in their life that we don't know can contribute to them deciding to want to cancel. But I think as an overall, I think overall when you experience it from so many people, different people, you feel like it's just ingrained in their character as a city, as a people in the city. So that's what
mm,
I want to say. I was joking about the rain thing. I mean, no, I'm not joking. Rain is a stupid excuse to not do anything unless you're supposed to be
mm.
outside camping or some shit. You know what I mean? If you were gonna meet up at a restaurant, like the restaurant ain't closed because it's raining outside. You
Yeah,
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Anything with a outdoor activity, driving range or whatever, then yeah.
Yeah, if it was an outdoor activity, then it's like 100%. Yeah, let's cancel. Or what I'll even suggest sometimes is like if I still want to meet up with this person because usually I do, it'd be like, okay, yeah, it's raining outside. We're supposed to go to this park, but how about we link up here, or just come over to my place, or I'll go over to your place, and something like that, and we could just we can improvise and shit. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? I find that if you really want to hang with somebody, you'll make it happen.
Yeah. And Redman, you mentioned something about culture. Like as a Senegalese person, when I grew up, the problem was never about people not showing up. It was mostly about when they will show up. As a black person, that's always something you have
Yeah,
to
that's true.
kind of account into your planning.
hmm
Like some people will be late at their own weddings. Like it's that bad. You know what I'm saying? So like
yeah.
my mom and my dad always had this plan where they invite people like an hour and a half early because they knew like
Yeah, and
if
I
you
know
yeah,
for me, it's also about like your upbringing, the things you experience from your parents. Like my mother was somebody that was always late. You know what I
mm,
mean? Like I used to think that when something said 8:30, that's the time you left to get there,
to get there, yes.
right? That's because that would be the time we would be leaving. Then it wasn't until I got older that it's like, no, you don't leave at 8:30. to get some to something that says 8:30. You leave at 8 or whatever the time frame is for whatever the distance you need to travel to make sure you get there on time.
Mm.
And I
Mhm.
learned that from my grandmother because my grandmother she would leave for work an hour early, right?
Mhm.
She'd always leave an hour early before whatever that time was. She would leave her place for an hour early, and I'd always be like, "Why you leave an hour early?" And she was like, "Well, TTC delays. You never know what's gonna happen. You need to give you some time, some buffer
Smart.
time, in case things happen for you to make it to something on time." And from that point on, I don't know that she was able to instill that in me. So like when it came to going to places and party, there's certain things I understand and stay up to not come to on time. One are parties. Never go to a party on time. It's just pointless. You'd be the first one there and you're just waiting to talk to somebody. Ain't nobody there yet. Networking events are another one. You don't need to be on time for those, you know. But I feel like other things, even some friends, get-togethers. Like I don't need to be on time for that. But like I'm a person, for example, I have this one friend that I tend to go to movies with a lot, and it's because we know we're very the same. We're gonna be there in half an hour to an hour early.
Mm.
Why?
Mhm.
Because I like to. What do I want to eat? Do I want to grab a snack? Do we want to
Yeah,
grab some food before? Do we want to get some good seats? Because I like to
yeah,
sit in a certain area, and then you get there later.
yeah,
People are sitting in the seats, that
yes,
you really like to sit in. So like stuff like that is important to me. So anytime I go to the movies with somebody, people know, yo, you better meet me an hour, half an hour
yeah,
before the movie start, or else don't
yeah.
come to the
I'm
movie
I'm
with
like
me.
I'm like that too because I think you want to have a good time. You don't want to be stressing about anything. You don't want to be rushed
Yeah.
to buy your popcorn because there's freaking lineups. And sometimes also if you buy regular tickets, you want to be earlier so you can pick the best seats possible for you, right?
Mhm.
So
Only time,
Not only that.
only thing I don't do that. Sorry to interrupt. Only time I
Hmm.
don't worry about being on time is like when we do VIP because those are like assigned
Oh
seats.
yes.
of course, yeah,
Or when they do assigned seat because now you can do a lot of assigned like sorry
mhm,
pre-pandemic you can do a lot of you could do assigned seat and I love that because I could pick where I want to sit and I have a certain area I like to sit like mid in the back of the movie theater. So that's the only time I'm not worried about being there an hour early, especially because the VIPs have like in-house service. So like you can
mhm.
order up until the movie starts. So as long as we can get there like 5-10 minutes before the movie start, I'm good. But any other time, if I'm have to buy the tickets there, half an hour before. But sorry, go ahead, Norman.
Yeah, no, I was, we started talking about people who are not reliable, and then I think we're talking about people who are late, who are not reliable because they're late, and I'm sure we know a lot of people who are like that. But like the reason why I try not to be late because I think whether it's in the work context or in the personal context, I feel like to me, I don't know, like this is how I've been raised or whatever, is that like if I'm late to somebody, if I say a time and I'm not late, to me that like that corresponds to like not respecting that person.
Mhm.
And so like for me it's like being late is not being respectful. And so like when somebody's late to me, I cannot perceive it that way, but I also have to understand that maybe not everybody sees that way. But it's just like the what it communicates, right? For
Yeah.
me.
Respect.
I got a question for you guys.
Hmm.
I feel like in that area, just to talk about dating a little bit. Uh,
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like a part of me feels like it's totally unacceptable for a man to be late for a date, but I feel like it's kind of acceptable for a woman.
Okay.
What do you
Can
think? Like
you?
I feel like women don't get the same um what's the word I'm looking for? Backlash,
Like
I guess, if they're late, whereas men do. Not saying I've ever been late for a date. Uh, no, I probably haven't actually.
Come on, Redman. Seriously?
No,
You gonna lie to the people, bro?
actually no. I think the last dates I'm usually the one early. I'm usually one
Okay.
waiting for them because I'm a
mhm.
punctual person. So like,
So you say, so you're saying when a man is late, a man is probably less likely to be late because it would be very look very bad on him. But if a
Hmm.
woman is late for a date or whatever, that's kind of like you kind of expect that kind of stuff. because
I don't want to
for
say
women.
expect. I don't want to say expect.
Wouldn't
But it's
surprise
like
me.
you're saying like the backlash that women will get though is lesser than the men's.
That's what I'm saying.
I
Yes.
agree with that.
Hmm.
Personally, I feel like I'm the one courting her, so I have to make sure that I'm there early. I don't want
Understood.
to give her any excuses to say, "Oh man, I don't know if how I feel about him." And
Yeah.
maybe I already lost like 10 points just showing up late, right?
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
now
Because
she's giving me a looks
we
and
already
yeah.
splitting bills.
Yeah,
So no, I'm joking.
Mhm.
yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get a second date after that one, but
You know that's
But
the thing.
funny,
yeah.
but it's
I was gonna
funny.
go ahead,
It's
Norman.
funny. It's funny, Tiano, that you're saying about points because, like, really, when it comes to like the dating game, like that
Should
is
be
what it is,
mutual,
right? Like
but
Yeah,
a
it should.
bro.
girl is actually doing this analysis on you, and you're doing it too, right?
Of course.
But I
Yeah,
feel like a girl is being more meticulous actually when it
Mhm.
comes to those
yeah.
things. Like
Yeah.
every
So
single little thing, because I feel like women can be more detailed than men when it comes to those things.
Can't be. They
Like,
can
are.
be. I would have to say, as we were talking about, the things that annoy us. So things, the people, canceling you. I think it's annoying for me because it's like you genuinely are interested in getting to know this person or wanting to hang out, and then now your plans go back to nothingness because I don't usually have backup plans. I don't
Mm.
do that. If I even there's been times where um certain things will come up and it happens to be at the same time. If I schedule something with you first, that's what's happening. I'm not gonna cancel on you to do these other things that just happen to come up at the same time. That being said, it's not actually my biggest annoyance. It's not the thing that annoys me the most. It's not. It's probably top 10, maybe top 5, but it's not the top thing. I would say the top thing that's up there for me as far as annoyance is people who don't seem to want to grow in their thought process, if that makes any sense. Like they just their opinions they have on things are the same opinions they had on things 15 years ago.
Wow.
And it's like
I see. Yeah.
it's like, yo, where's your growth? Like you telling me like nothing. Like, I mean, even for me, like I did a podcast episode, Young Pros Talk podcast. Check it out,
Mhm.
iTunes, Spotify.
But-
Just want to throw that plug in there. Um, I did an episode a few years ago on dating. Dating as a young professional was the topic, and some of the thoughts I had then, I don't have those same thoughts. You know what I mean? Like I don't have those same beliefs, and I just feel like when you when your thought process on certain topics doesn't change, then are you growing? Are you learning new information? You know what I mean? Like I just don't want. I don't like people that like to stay in the same place. That's my biggest annoyance. Like people that just want to stay in the same state of life forever.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that played out with a friend who I knew from high school,
Hmm.
and who I like high school. We're talking about like 22 years ago from me, right? So,
Hmm.
and
Don't
I
give
was
away
still
your age,
speaking.
Norman. Don't give away your age.
don't give away now.
Everybody's doing math now. 23 minus.
I don't really care to be honest. Um,
Alright, he's 31.
Boy, you was young when you graduated from high school. Yo. Boy, is a prodigy.
Yeah, prodigy child, bro. My bad, Norman.
yeah, that's like no. What I'm saying is that I had this friend that I knew from high school that I still keep in touch with,
Mhm.
and I had the exact same reaction to him because the way he is, the things he's interested in, the way he talks to me is like same as in high school. I was like, and I tell him like really like you still want the same things, think the same things. Like as I don't know. It's hard for me to comprehend. It's like yeah, I'm the same guy. It's like well, I'm
Uh,
not. I'm not. And you expected me to be the same guy that I was back in high school, and I'm not. And this guy was bothered because I was. He's like, "You're just so different. You changed so much." It's like,
Yeah,
yeah, aren't you supposed to change? Like,
yeah, exactly. That annoys me too. Is when people talk to you that haven't talked to you for a while. You're like, oh wow, you're not the same person I knew back then, and it's like, yeah, that's how it's supposed to
It's
be.
supposed to be, yeah.
I'm not supposed to be the same person. Now, you want me to stay the same forever? The same way? Like, come on, you want me to think the same way I thought at 15, homie?
No.
Like, what? I'm 30. What? How does that even make sense? At 15, I was thinking about, you know,
You
how much.
say it.
Say
You say
it.
it, man.
We all know what you're thinking, anyways.
Okay, maybe I got some of the same thoughts from when I was 15, but
That's not gonna
Hey.
change, man.
but I don't have some of the same goals. Like, even like when I was
Mhm.
15, I was
Mhm.
thinking about, like, damn, I just want to get out of high school. I just want to go to like, I don't even know if those thought. I don't even know what I was thinking about at 15. I just know it probably wasn't that important. You know what I mean? Like, when you're 15, you're thinking about playing video games, you're thinking about
Yep.
girls, and you're thinking
Hmm.
about fucking chocolate bars and shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
it's not that variable. You don't have many life go. Here's another annoyance of me that I think about it that I have is that society has deemed that you should have things figured out by the time you're 18, right? 19. That, oh, pick a major, and that's what you have to go through, and then you get so much backlash if at 25 you decide, you know what, that thing I went to school for, I don't like that anymore. I want to do something else. Like, this whole idea that you have to figure out your life by a certain point, that annoys me.
Mm.
I'm just bringing all the content, bro. What
No,
the
you're right. You no, no, no. You're right
No,
about that point. I
no, but
mean, especially if you come from a background like a third world country background, you gotta have everything figured out. Like your parents don't have that patience where they expect you to give you leeway, or they give you leeway to figure out. No, 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 no. Like, bro, parents, they always exaggerate. I was walking 5 kilometers to go to school, and I was studying under candlelight. Like, okay, yeah, it's cool, but I got electricity now, so we can't we can't make the same type of decisions. You know what I mean? I got internet. um but so I always had that pressure of making decision, like career decision, basically, based on like a time that they already set for me. But I didn't like it, to be honest,
hmm
because I felt like it was too much pressure, and I felt like my mind was more into like, oh man, how am I gonna make the volleyball school team this year, and all these crap that are not important at that age. And now that you know that now I reflect on it, and I'm like, damn, I should have focused on my career, and less of on trying to be the captain of a soccer team or whatever.
Yeah,
um
I think it's hard, man, because I feel like I'm 30 now, and I feel like I don't know what it was when I turned 30, but I just had this idea that my life was supposed to be at a certain point.
hmm,
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was supposed to, like, even when it comes to dating, right? Like, oh, if you want to get married, have a wife and kids, you should have done these amount of things in your life by this time. You should own a house, you should own a car, da 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 da. You know,
House, picket fence, woman,
and
yeah.
that mentality has changed a lot, right?
Hmm.
Because the generations, thought processes change each generation. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Which is great. I think for the better for a lot of reasons. But I think is I think there's so much pressure placed on you by your societal norms, your cultural norms about who you are supposed to be
And
at
it
a certain
doesn't it doesn't stop it doesn't stop at a certain point. Like, even if you were saying about, like, at a certain age you need to have a woman and a house and all of that, but even after that there's further expectations. Like, okay, now you have a house, now you have a woman, now you're married, and now the expectation is you need to have kids.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then it's like when you have a kid, and it's like, no, you need to have three kids because one is not enough,
Hmm.
Right.
and you need to
Yeah.
have at least you have two so that the kid's not alone. Doesn't grow up alone. It has a sister or a sibling. And so it's like it just doesn't stop, man. It just
It'll
and it's
never
like
stop, to be honest.
after that it'll be another expectation about your kids needing to be doctors and lawyers.
Hmm.
And I know it's got
Or
to be hard for a lot of people whose families are very involved in their lives.
Mm.
Like, for me, I'm very, like, fuck off. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care what my family tells me they think I should be doing. I'm like, oh, that's great. I'm not doing that shit, but that's great. That's great that you think that. And but I that's a lot of that has to do with me having to be independent for all of my life. You know what I mean?
hmm
Even grow up in a single parent household, single mother household, having two younger sisters, having to take care of them. I had to be the adult at a young age,
Mm.
right?
hmm
So because of that, when it comes to like I don't have to be that adult anymore. I don't have to take care of no kids no more. I don't have to take care of my sisters anymore. Now I'm in this point in my life where like, yo, I do whatever the fuck I want to do, whenever I want to do it. And my goals are based on what I feel like I should do, not based on what the family thinks I should be doing, not based on what society thinks I should be
That's interesting
Yeah.
because you have, honestly, Redman, you have that one up on other people. Because I didn't get that much responsibility like you had, where you had to
doing.
take care of your sisters and be the man of the family and actually understand how, you know, to navigate two different personalities and how to help a certain person with their homework and all that stuff. So I didn't have that. I grew up pretty, middle class family. Parents are giving you everything. Well, not everything, but most. So I didn't have to worry about that part. So maybe it took me a little longer to mature and grow up and be more responsible. But um I think around like age 25, 26, then I kind of figure out, yo man, I just got to focus on certain things that I like and stop worrying about what my dad would say or what my mom would say, which
And
I'm still worrying about now. But
which I understand is hard, especially
yeah.
when you have parents. See, I grew up like I said, single mother household, and I was the oldest, and
Hmm.
I have a father around, so like there was nobody to really influence their thoughts on me. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
So like the person who were most influential was my grandmother, and my grandmother was very, you do what makes you happy in your life. You know what I mean? You focus, fuck what everybody else is telling you to do. You can fulfill your own self. Only you. She's always instilled that in. Only you can tell you what you want, decide what you
Mm,
want. Only you go on this. This is your journey of life. This is
mhm,
only yours. Nobody else is gonna experience it. Nobody can ever understand it. Just you. So you should do things you feel like are best for you. And
mhm,
because I had that upbringing, or because that was value she's instilled in me, it made me be able to tell my family members, and I'm exaggerating. I don't actually tell them fuck off, but loosely. I can say, yeah, I don't feel like doing that. That's not what I want to do in my life. I don't have an interest in doing that. Nope, it's not interesting to me. I don't care. You know, and I can understand where it's very hard for those people who do have an impact, especially if you come in from from a country. You get I haven't some several of my ex I shouldn't say several of my ex girlfriends, but I know people who grew up in different cultural backgrounds where education is key
Hmm.
and education is everything, right? And then they go and there's only a few degrees, I mean, it's only like doctor, lawyer, something along those lines, and
Or
everything
desk job. Africans love desk job, man. Desk job with a laptop, you know what I'm saying? Just showing up. You ain't doing nothing. You might be data entering, but as long
yeah,
as you have that desk job, it
it,
looks good.
it's true. And I sometimes it's hard for me to understand those people who have gone that journey, right? And they become a lawyer or whatever, and they fucking
Hmm.
hate it. They
Yep.
hate it. It's not their passion at all. But at the same time, they don't want to disappoint their families. And I'm that person that I don't have that under like I don't that's not my thought process. Like if I'm doing something that my family don't approve of, then I'm just kind of like, yo, but I'm happy. Like that should be
mm.
the ultimate thing in life because you know how hard it is to obtain
Happiness.
happiness in this world, like especially for like people of color. When
No.
you gotta deal with you gotta deal with you gotta deal with parent familial pressure for certain things. Then you gotta deal with society and systematic racism and all the things that are giving you obstacles to prevent you from
Hey, man.
achieving something as small as just walking up the street and going, you know what I mean, to get a bottle of water without having to engage in any racial, discrimination or anything.
Mm.
Hey, bro. I'm black and Muslim. You don't know what's going through my mind. I wish I could
uh,
tell you. But Norman, what do you think about, this concept of like kind of Redman has he kind of learned how to think and
mhm,
not what to think, right? Because personally, I think I
Mm-hmm.
grew up being taught what to think, and then it
Mm-hmm.
took me time to learn
mm,
how to properly think on my own.
mm. Yeah. No, I totally resonate. First, I want to say that based on what Redman's saying about his grandmother, That sounds to me like a great mentor to
Oh my
have.
God, yeah.
Like somebody, because it's essentially like I think it's like freeing your mind, right? Because you can easily be persuaded by all the pressures of everybody else,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
then your life becomes not your life, becomes
Right.
a representation of expectations, which is not going to make you happy. Because if you pursue that way, if you listen to everybody else but yourself, then you're going to end up with the wrong kind of people, like partners, I mean. Because what you're getting as you're being influenced is to look out for the things that is not really what you want, but what you had been convinced for people that is what you want. And it could be like, for a girl, it could be like, like society told them that they need to look for just tall and blonde and blue eye
Mhm. Mhm.
and kind of type of guy. But when in reality the physical is maybe, it's not really the important part, but it's really like what's inside. Is this person gonna be understanding to you, loving to you? Are you gonna have a great connection with this person?
Mm,
Mhm.
Rather than like society told you like blonde and whatever, like those characteristics are like, that's not really what you want. It's really what you are told to do. And the same can be like career also, right? Like
Mhm.
everybody can just tell you you need to be this because you need to make money. You need to study business or whatever, like they think is going to make you money. Whereas if you listen to yourself, if you seek out professional help to seek out what is it that you really want to do in career, you're going to end up doing something for which you really are passionate about, and for which you don't even feel that you're working. Like you're just following your career, you're enjoying your career, you're growing as an individual. And it's just like whether it's relationship or work. I just think like this concept of like finding your authentic self. I think there's a quote somebody said, and I forget who it was, but they said like the secret to happiness is to get closer to the person that who you really are.
mm,
And
Mhm.
that makes a lot of sense, right? Because if you really start to figure out what is it, who is it that you are, because at this point in life, just for myself, I'm not gonna say that I really even know who I really am. Like I'm learning, I'm discovering through interactions with people like who I am, uh, and I'm trying to be who I am. That's my goal, because I think that if I can just discover more and more what are the things that make me happy, what are the kind of people that help me grow, that contribute to my growth. Those are the people that I've been surrounded by because they resonate with who I am, and this is the path and growth that I want to get into. And the more I do, I feel, and because I've been observing it, right? So I'll
Yeah.
give you a very, 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 very specific example, right? So I've been in Canada for 22 years, and whatever my age, I don't care. Uh, and and I came from Peru, as you guys know. And when I came to Canada, my English was very little. So like I spoke English, I could defend myself, but like nowhere near what I am now.
mm,
And since then, I've done my part of high school here and university. Like how many years is that? Like 7 years university at the U of T. And like language, in terms of language, like English has become my main language. So now, like at this point in life, my first language actually, even though my mother tongue is Spanish, my first language is English, second to Spanish.
mm,
Mhm.
Unfortunately, it's just like I dream in English. I talk to the most things in people in English. Like English is my main language. It's just how it is. And so I was discovering like 2 3 years ago that my Spanish was really like bad. Like it was
mm,
just starting to be so bad that there were words that was like, okay, I have to look up the Spanish dictionary to
Mhm.
figure out what is it that I'm trying to complete. And then I realized, shit, my identity that I want to maintain is Latino, that speaks Spanish and that adopts the culture. And so
Mhm.
like I realized that I don't want to lose that because it's part of me. I feel that it's a part of me. It's who I want to still be.
Mhm.
And so I just put it in my head that I should make an effort to like speak more Spanish and go to Peru more often
Mhm.
and watch Spanish movies and read
Telemundo.
more Spanish. Well, not
Did you
that
say
like this.
Telemundo?
I mean, that's the ignorant thing to say, right? So that's the first thing that came to my mind.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say Money Heist, but
but
Yes, yes.
but ever since I made that decision in my head that I don't want to lose my identity, my
Mhm,
authentic self, my Latino self, I've increased relationships, let's say opportunities to speak more the language. I have like more Spanish speaking friends. My relationship now is a Spanish speaking person, and so like like I don't know. I do feel like I'm happier now because of that. Like
Mm,
when I felt like I was losing my identity, I felt like there was something missing in me. I felt like some void in something. And now that I like my Spanish is better now, I feel like I'm a little bit better now. Like I feel like I'm more
Interesting.
closer to myself.
yeah,
So
that's good.
yeah, so
To
I,
that
I
point, go ahead, Redman.
I was gonna say, thinking about what you said, I just thought about like I know I talked about like I tell my family f off and all of that, but I just realized that some things did influence my decision due to certain things, right? Like I went to business school because like that was what it was like. You got to get a job, you got to be able to work, you got to be able to make money, provide for whoever end up being your partner. So as much as like I am aware of who I am and you know I I can I don't I feel like I live myself as who I am and not who people want me to be. I still had influences that contributed to some of the decisions I made. You know what I mean? Like if I were to go back now, I probably wouldn't have gone to business school. I probably would have done some of the things I'm doing now, like I'm taking film classes now, and I probably would have went to school for film
hmm,
back then, as opposed to um, business school. But at the time, we're coming in a phase now, and with the pandemic, it's showing that art is very valuable. I mean, like artists and
Mm,
creatives are very valuable. And when I was going to university 10 years ago, whenever it was, um, longer than that actually, um, it was creatives weren't that valued. It was more, especially where I come from, and my community is how are you going to be able to provide? Because I grew up in a poor neighborhood. I grew up poor. I didn't have a lot. So
hmm,
now your focus as a African American man is, well, now how will you provide? How will you make money? How will you be able to take care of yourself? And so that informed my decision to go to business school. And part of me, I'm happy with it, but part of me does regret it
mhm.
to a degree. But go ahead, Theorna. What were you going to say? Sorry about that.
No, it wasn't to you. Was mostly to Norman's point about damn, I'm drawing a blank actually. Oh no, it's the fact that it's funny how I had an inferiority complex when I was growing up in Canada at age 13 because all my friends were speaking English, so I forced myself to just focus on English, right? And
Mm-hmm,
then when I were like around maybe 23, 24, I was really like, yo, I got the like I'm comfortable now. I can write in English, I can talk in English. And then I realized my French got worse and my Wolof, which is my native language in Senegal, got worse. So
mm-hmm,
now I'm like, damn, I have to rebalance this where I have to start reading or watching more content in my native language to
mm-hmm,
make sure that I rebalance everything. And I pretty much fail at it because it's too much in Canada where it's like there's great content in English.
hmm.
I don't speak well off that often besides just speaking to my family members, and French is just part of work.
right.
So
Right. You guys
yeah,
should
I
just be like me and embrace that your English sucks.
I wish, man, but it's always that pressure, right? Like I have this French colleague where it's like I started to realize now I fake kind of her my accent when I speak to her because I'm like, oh, she's from
Like
France. I
when
gotta
you
show up.
when you speak French or when
Yeah,
you
when I speak French, it's like, oh,
okay.
hello, bonjour, comment ça va, right? But when I speak to like French people from Canada, I just, I don't think, I just speak.
Yeah.
And when it comes to my mom, I have to speak well off properly. But if it's like my cousin, then I speak like a slang-ish kind of well off. I don't know, man. It's just like too much pressure sometimes with languages.
Question for you guys
Yeah.
on what you're talking about. Do you guys feel like um there are certain parts of your identity that you don't have that you wish you did? For example, my mother is from Montreal. She speaks French fluently. A lot of my family
Hmm.
members speak French very fluently. I do not speak French at all. And
Okay. That's waiting for you. Comment ça va?
I can get to like I used to listen to this one thing, right, and I used to joke with my friends that speak French, and I was like, the only thing I know how to say in French is confortable, you know.
Confortable, huh? Yeah.
And that was
Yeah.
the extent of my French. I'm like, oh, Very good, Redmond. Very good. And I'd be like, I've been practicing Kung Fu Top. Okay, I'm very Kung Fu Top.
What is your
Uh,
is your name? Is your name Redman that ends with a D? Is that a French name more than English name?
no, I think it's in English, like a British name.
Redmond?
So
Yeah, it
I'll give
doesn't
you,
sound French to me.
I'll give you
Okay.
guys the. My mom tends to say it for like when she calls me, like when she's mad, she'll be like Redmond. Like
Mm,
she'll say it like that. But
Hmm.
it's just a little history about my name. So my name is like 100 years old. In my family, apparently. And I may not have the story correct, but I will double check. But apparently, my grandfather's mother's last name was Redmond, and she married a man whose last name was Chambers. And then they had my grandfather, and they named him Redmond Chambers. And so technically, I'm actually Redmond Chambers the second.
oh,
Oh,
what? Why there's no the second to your name?
I don't use a suffix.
I
Okay.
don't think people. I don't think. I don't hear people using that anymore. Like,
No, I don't use it. And part of the reason I don't use the suffix is because I wanted to have, like, even though we share the
oh,
same name, I wanted to have my own identity, if that makes any sense.
I
Mm,
think people in high school or whatever they would have killed you with that.
The
Having you like
second, they would,
they would have picked on. They would have picked up on you.
yeah.
Like, yeah,
I used to write it on some, like, you do homework assignments, you got to write your name and shit.
yeah.
I used to write the second on there, but then I just stopped using the suffix.
Okay, so I just googled the surname Redman. Okay,
It's British for
it's
sure.
it's derived from the personal name Raymond, which is derived from the Old French forenames Raymond or
Raymond.
Raymond.
Raymond. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, so maybe it is French then.
But
These
it
are
derived,
derived.
right?
These are derived from the old German personal name Rajingmund, which literally means council army or mighty army from
Well,
the
now we
Gaelic
just
name.
go into
So,
the bottom. Well, now we just going to the rabbit hole.
look at
Damn.
that!
Yeah.
Look at
Yeah, so
that!
I have heard people tell me that like my name has such a powerful, like it was strong, and I used to believe it or not, I used to hate it. I remember this. I lived in before I moved to Detroit with my family. I lived in Grand Rapids, and the kids, kids are assholes, man. Like we're so bad. Like
Bro.
just we're so bad.
Bro.
Like the amount of stuff kids go through that parents don't know about
Bro.
is just crazy,
Bro.
right? But I used to get teased about my name all the time because we're assholes. Like we just tease about anything. You know what I mean? You could come with a nice outfit on and they'll be like, "Look at you dressing up and like, you think you look good or something?" Thanks for writing that into the chat thing, Norman.
Yeah, always prepared, man. What I love about Northern, man.
um, and so I used to use a nickname that people found more acceptable, and then I moved. I remember I moved to Detroit, and I was like, "Yeah, my name's Redmond, but you can call me whatever the name was. I'm not gonna say the name because I don't want people just using it as a joke." And then he was like, "What?" No, he was like, "I like Redmond Bader. That sounds way tougher." I was like, "Well, then my name
Oh,
is Redmond, homie. Call me
Yeah,
Redmond all day, you know." And from there, I just Redmond. I embraced Redmond, moving to Detroit, and then when I went to university, so many people used to tell me I had such a great name, and then
mm,
I just, because for a long time I thought about changing it because it was something that was bothering me because of how I used to feel about the name, and then I didn't. And growing up now, I didn't realize how much of a great identity
name it
it
is.
would be for yeah. So now I keep it.
I
hmm.
mean, I have the same thing with my name, right? You guys call me Cherno, which my family call me like that. But when I arrived here, people had a problem saying it, so I just said, "Man, fuck it, call me my middle name, which is Jabril." And they're like, "Oh, Jabril, like the football player Jabril Cisse." I'm like, "Yeah, like that dude." Even though I'm not blonde, a
But
black
you know what?
guy with blonde hair, but
I
yeah,
feel like here's another annoyance for me.
yeah,
Um, Having to come to North America and make your name easier
man, yeah.
for other
Ah,
people to say it. You know what I mean? Like there's so many people that I've known that have come over to apparently I've heard that where they've like if they're depending on, like, the teachers would make them give them a name or something. Like, I feel like I've talked to a couple of people that were like, "That's not my actual name. Like, that's the name. That's the English name I was given
Mm.
when I came here." That is that annoys me that you have to change your name to make people in a different country accept you or be able to pronounce
Integrate.
and to integrate. You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
mean,
Whereas like it's part of your identity. You know what I mean? So like if I like to know people's names, you know. So like if I say it wrong, let me know. I want to say it right. You know what I mean? I'll probably
yeah,
say your name wrong a lot, but it's because I want to make that effort to let you, you know, identify that your name is your name and your name is dope
exactly.
and it is who you are, and you shouldn't have to change your name just to make a society of
Yeah,
people feel
and
more comfortable.
it should also be pronounced exactly in the way that your name should be pronounced. People
Mm.
shouldn't be pronouncing it in the way they feel like it. You know?
No, well, that is a little. I get what you're saying, but I mean, there's the English pronunciation of things, and the pronunciation of it is of a different language is going to be different,
Hmm.
right? So that's that.
But you gotta also recognize that if a person tell you his name is that way, just try to make an effort. You know, don't switch it because you somehow feel more comfortable pronouncing it that way.
For
Like that's
sure,
a you problem, not a me
hundred
problem. You
percent,
know.
100%. I agree with you. You know,
Yeah.
but I also think people do on the flip side, you have to give people the benefit of the doubt
Of
and
course.
recognize that you know how the name is pronounced and the language it comes from. It's not something that they've been, you know, experienced before. So it'll take some time. You know, it
For
takes
sure.
time for your brain to be able to comprehend. You know, it's almost like sometimes it's like learning another language. You know, you say words, you know, and French is hard. You know, like
Yeah.
the easiest thing to do when you are trying to teach somebody a language is you kind of say it how it would sound. You say something similar, how it would sound in the language they already know.
You know what, man? That brings me to another thing that annoys me is when you're trying to speak a language, right? Let's say I'm in France, right? And I've been in Canada for a while, so I lost my French. But I'm trying to speak French, and they flip to English. Like, bro, I speak
Mhm.
French. Can you make an effort to understand what I'm saying? It's not like I'm speaking some kind of slang, you know, hashtag urban, but make an
Yeah.
effort.
Yeah,
Like,
I
Mm.
feel like
don't you have that problem, Norman, with your Spanish? I guess. Like, if you go, I don't know if you ever went to Spain or like another Latin country where it's like they don't make any effort to try to understand you.
well, it's just like the Spanish.
Mm.
Before you answer, Norman, sorry. The Spanish is gonna be different. It's just like that. It's just like my easiest example is like in America, right, where we everybody speaks English, but the dialect of the English is different depending on where you
Fair
go.
enough. That's a
You know what I
good
mean?
point.
So like, I think the expectation that the way you speak based on where you grew up geographically should be the same everywhere. It's just like, come on, man.
But it's like, bro, like I'm at McDonald's. Like literally, this is the story. I'm at McDonald's and I'm ordering, and then the person was like, "So what do you want?" I would like. I told him, "Oh, I want the number six in trio," and he's like, "Oh, well, we don't have trios, but you can get the burger, the fries, and the drink." So it's like,
Ah?
bro, you know damn well what a trio means. Like I said it in French clearly, but the dude was like, "Man, like, we don't
Yeah.
have trios." Like, all right,
So
man,
anytime I
whatever.
pull up to McDonald's in Montreal, the first thing I say is "Parlez-vous anglais?" And then they just start speaking English, so they know what's up.
Is it? Yeah. But
Because I
yeah,
don't
no,
know.
at least they made the effort there, right? But some people will say, no, I don't. Like, I remember in Italy, I asked this guy, do you speak English? And he's like, no, I don't speak English. I'm like, you're lying. You just use like five English word right there, bro. You don't want to make the
Yeah,
effort to speak English, but you do
yeah,
speak English.
that's hilarious.
Uh,
So I haven't had that specific issue traveling to a Spanish speaking country, but I had it actually when I met people here in Canada who speak Spanish and who
Hmm.
also speak English.
Hmm.
Uh, where like I would start speaking Spanish and then they reply to me in English. I was like, I'm speaking
Come on, man.
Spanish
is it
because I
that's
want to speak
gotta
Spanish.
that's gotta be even worse though, right? Than
Yeah,
like
man.
going to
Condescending.
another country and not experiencing that, but then people in the same country as you who both speak
No,
French. I mean,
but
excuse me.
these people that reply to me in English though, they I know they did it because there's this notion that when you come into a country and you want to learn English and you speak Spanish, for example, you make your best to not speak your mother tongue because they feel like they really really need to learn the language, and so they really like not shouldn't be speaking like their native tongue because they really have to change their mindset.
Yeah,
And it's something that I've done myself when I was in high school, because in high school, as you know, there's different groups of people, and of course, in my high school there was the Latin group. And they will call me over. They will call me over like, come join us, come join us, and then they will always speaking we speaking Spanish, but like their difference is like they pretty much grew up here, and so their English is pretty good, and so is their Spanish. Whereas I just came from Peru and I really want to learn English really quickly. And so I felt that if I hang out with them, I will just speak Spanish all the time because I'm very comfortable at that time to speak Spanish. And then my English will just, be delayed. That was, my way of thinking back then, which I don't think it was okay.
yeah, but I
Because
mean, you were young. You know what I mean? Like that, I feel like it's fair to, you know, think of things a certain way and then learn from it. Like every like this, as we talked about earlier, life is about growth. You know what I mean? The way you think or perceive something at a certain time is not gonna be the way you all if you're growing, of course. Not always gonna be the same way. You know what I mean? Like I think
No, but
people.
I regretted my decision because then I thought like if I would have just hang out with them, I probably would have been been good friends with them because whatever we connect
Mm,
well because we speak the same language,
that's fair.
and because I did that, and that was one of the reasons why like I rejected my Spanish upbringing, like let's say my Spanish roots, so that I can really learn the English because I always thought like I want to learn English because otherwise if I don't learn English I cannot do good in high school with my marks, and
Right.
if I don't do good in high school with my marks then I cannot get into a good
Right.
university school, and then like and so on so on so on, like I cannot finish my career if my English suffers.
Right.
So for like a good many years I actually purposely rejected my Latino roots so that I can learn English, so I can be good at English.
So, but
And
at
I
that
don't know.
time, you were just the biggest thing, most the priority for you, excuse me, was just to assimilate into North American culture.
Yeah, and I rejected my roots so I can assimilate not just the language, right, but also assimilate culturally into and I did. I mean, I
Mm.
successfully did, but then I came to a point in my life where I was like, okay, you know what? I need to be Latino too, so I need to amend. I need to fix this now
But
before
you
I
know
lose
what?
it.
But you know what,
Yeah,
Norman? I would like. I have to say that thought process of yours is not entirely your fault. You know what I mean? Like that's usually the thought process that's kind of instilled in people. You know what I mean? From the societal norms, right? It's like you move to another country. Well, now you have to be what that country defines what its people are supposed to be. You know what I mean? So like
yeah.
for you, like I mean, I would say anybody. I don't think Norman that you're the only person that probably went with that same approach and had that same thought process.
Not all. One of them is me. So
So there you go.
Oh well, those people I was talking about that I spoke like Spanish and replied in English. They're doing the same thing, and
Mhm.
and I understood that why they were doing it. So that's why I never take it personally, because it's like I was
Mm,
doing that too. So I can't just be like mad at you because
no,
I did that.
understandable,
But
understandable.
there's also that other annoying part where it's like my English is getting better, right? And then my cousins or whatever like be like, man, look at this white boy. You think you better than us now, huh? Because you speak a little anglais, huh? It's like, bro, I'm just trying to get better, man. Like
Petit
honestly.
anglais.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to get better, and it's like, yo, you always use the word man. You always use, you know what I'm saying. I'm like, bro, speak
Uh,
English. Like,
Yo, yo,
yeah,
he calling you out for your North American English, huh? Just
exactly, bro. And it's like, hey, man, don't hate me because I try. You got to be mad because you didn't try hard enough. You know.
yeah.
Ugh.
I
I
have to
don't mean to
say,
cut you off, Norman.
another thing that annoys me that I just thought to my self is that when I think it's understood that people have different cultural neurons depending on where you grew up and where you come from. And so I find it that I've come across a situation where maybe I've said something or there was an action that I did that where I come from is like totally acceptable, right?
Mm.
But where they come from is like that's rude, that's disrespectful. blah blah, and they just immediately get offended. And for me, I just wish people would take that moment as like a learning moment to be like,
Mm.
oh, blah blah blah. This is what that could mean, because I don't know. There's so many cultures in this world. All of them amazing, and I don't know all of them. I haven't come across. I've met a lot of people from different countries in Africa, but I haven't met people in every country from Africa.
No
You know
way.
what I mean? So like I haven't. So if I haven't met somebody from just the random Togo, right? So I
Hmm.
don't know what culture is like in Togo. So I could come across a person that's is it Togoan? Shoot,
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah,
Um,
Togo.
and I could
Yeah.
say something, I could do something that may be culturally insensitive, but I don't realize it's culturally insensitive because I'm not. That's not an experience I've had.
Yeah.
You know. So sometimes I get annoyed with people when they're and it's not entirely their fault, but I get annoyed when when they hear something or something is done, their immediate reaction is, I'm going to get defensive and offended instead of trying to use that as a learning moment for each other. Because
Mm.
I'm teaching you something. I'm teaching you that, like, where I'm from, this is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, I've learned that,
But
like, in certain places, like when people, like, for example, if uh you guys are my friends, and if I invited you over to my home, culturally where I'm from, if you want something, just go in the kitchen and get it. You ain't gotta ask
Ooh,
me for it,
I
right?
can debate that one. Nope,
But
I
in
won't.
other no, I'm saying I know in other cultures I
Hmm.
understand that, like, the proper um for their culture is, people, you show hospitality, you get the drink for them, you offer them stuff. That I understand, but that's a learning for member for me, right? Because,
Hmm.
like, I don't come. That's not where I go to my friends' homes in Detroit, and I'd be like, "Can I get a bottle of water?" They be like, where the refrigerator at? Like, what you ask? Can I get some cookies? What are you asking me for? Like, go in there and get it. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, that's something. That's a cultural difference that is a learning moment for me, and not that, like, also, like, I don't say that I don't offer people stuff when they come over. Of course, I offer people things and I get stuff. But some of my friends, I'm like, yo, just go get it.
Go. Yeah.
Just we cool, we homies. You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason for you to have to ask. Like we've passed that. For me, in my mind, and it's still, I still have to catch myself. But for me, in my mind, we've passed that level of, we got to be extra friendly or, like, cordial or whatever, formal or whatnot. Like, no, if you hungry, bro, you can just go into my kitchen and grab whatever you want. You know what I mean? Or if you're thirsty, you can just grab whatever you want. That's just how I am culturally.
mm. But I feel like people just, I mean, where we are right now is Toronto, and because we're a multicultural society city, we just like we just need to be accepting of so many things. Like, I don't know. I just feel like, can people really get sensitive if you say something wrong that in their culture is not accepted, and then you get offended? Like,
Actually, all the
I feel
time.
like I feel like people just need to be like, like, we're from different cultures and from different countries,
I'm,
and
I should
why
say,
take it personal? I don't know.
on that being said, I say a lot of crazy shit too. So I just, I just want to put that out there. That
But that's a different
I
point.
say a lot of fucked up shit. Okay, like,
But that's a different point. That's a different point, because if they are your friends, they know how you are, and if you do say a lot of fucked up shit, and then they should already know that's how you are, right?
no,
So
true,
that's
true. Like, my friends, you're right. My friends, they know for sure. Like,
Mhm.
they say crazy shit. Like, we've all played video games together. We say
Come on,
crazy.
man.
Like, people like, if
Don't
people
get me
heard
started, bro.
if people heard the shit we say to each other, to be like, do
Oh,
y'all like each other? Like, do y'all even like each other? Why you so mad right now? Be like, we ain't mad, actually. You sure?
it's
That
just
sounded
yeah,
harsh.
it's way of venting, man. So
you know. But like, friends know. But, like, I think for me, because I'm such a, like, I'm a clever person, right? Like, my thought process on things, and I'm funny. So, like, if there's an opportunity to say
mm,
something that sounds funny and clever, I take it every time, right? And sometimes I'll say shit and I'll be like, "Ooh, yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that." but at the
Oh,
same,
we all have those
yeah.
moments,
So
right?
I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
I say a lot of great stuff, but I say a lot of messed up shit that I'm like, damn, I wish I didn't say that. Or the other thing that happens to me is like I'll say something, and the way I intended it to
Mm,
me didn't come across that way. So now
mhm.
I feel like shit. What I meant to say, like what I was trying to say, like my thought process behind it, I realized could be different than how it was actually interpreted.
This is why people get in trouble in social media because they're like, well, that's how I thought of it. But there's no leeway when it comes to interpretation, right? People will take it the way they want to take it.
No, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. So you got to be very careful uh, when you tweet something, especially something that could be controversial or whatever. Because, hey, man, you cannot assume how people will feel about something. Never. Doesn't matter if they're your friend, your colleagues, your acquaintance. Like you can't. It's just that's why I try to avoid posting stuff on social media because I know, man, I'm a
But
little wild. So
you know what though? I've learned to also embrace that part
th-
about me, right? Like
okay,
like I I'm realizing like to be human is to be to be
flawed.
great and to be flawed. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So like I embrace my flaws as a part of who I am, and I always try to get better. I feel like I'm a lot better now at my age I was maybe 5 years ago, you know. But I still say stuff that I'm just like, But I think there's a different level of sensitivity in Canada, to be honest with you, because I've had people like sometimes people will say shit to me and I pay no never mind, and then I get a text like, "I'm very sorry. I hope I didn't hurt your feelings." Blah blah blah. And I'll be like,
We all
I have
know who that
no,
person is.
I'll be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, what are you talking? Like, I don't even remember who you. What did I? I'd be like, what did you say? And then they'd tell me, and I was like, oh, like you tripping off of that
That,
shit? Like
yeah,
what? Like nah, I wasn't even thinking about it at all. So
yeah. I think if it's not you're not insulting my parents or my family or my culture, man, it's all fair and game, man. If whatever you say, as long as it's funny or whatever, clever, I'll take it.
yeah. By
I'll
the way,
take
I
it.
just want to let y'all know I'm sitting here very comfortably in my Lululemon sweatpants.
Really? All right, man. Seriously, man, I want to open this. All right. You know what annoys me, man, about this? You think that we are supposed to know that Lululemon is branded to man and woman. Leo, in my head, Lululemon is made for women. That's it. So maybe I am ignorant to you know, the comfortability of the Lululemon products. But
Yo,
honestly, man,
yo,
Redmond, come
let
on,
me
bro.
continue. Let me continue. Not only am
Uh,
I wearing Lululemon sweatpants,
mhm.
I'm wearing Lululemon socks as well.
I mean, when you go to the Lululemon store, I think just I've been to Lululemon store before, and not by my own choice, but because I was going with a female partner.
Exactly.
Hmm.
That's how I would end up being there. And then every time I go there, I always see like I don't know, but my perception was like 90% of the people shopping there were women.
Hmm.
Yeah, how many times
So
have you been there, Norman?
like two,
You
This
said
guy,
no,
once. You said once,
probably
and now you said
probably no, three times
three
really,
times
three
in
times.
total. And how many years, right? Because it might have been like the times you were going, it probably
In
was
the last in the
just.
last 2 years. In the last
Oh,
2 years.
well then what, bro? What?
That was because
So you never
because
just
we,
look around, or you pay attention to
because,
you going with?
because we told you many times that there, and this is even the CEO of Lululemon has said that the perception right now is that the store is geared to women more than men, and then they know that's not the case, and that they want to change it because they do have a clothing line for men.
hmm
That's a fact. But the perception of people is that it's still a more woman geared brand, and even the CEO says, I mean, like, what's
I
the
don't
debate?
give a fuck what the CEO says. I'm just telling y'all that my Lululemon sweatpants are
Look, man,
comfortable. And
Lululemon, we apologize if we said anything bad, but Redmond would take your
I
advertisement
will
here.
be your
Young
fucking
Pro
brand ambassador.
podcast.
Okay. Can I get some? Can we get a Young Pros talk line in this bitch? Okay.
I hope so. Shit, the way
Oh.
you're talking about Lululemon, feel like you work for them, bro.
Well, I wear they
Yeah.
sweatpants. Um, uh, Jokingly though, I'm joking. I just thought I'd put that plug. That's an insider joke for the people
But
listening.
let's be honest, right? How did you get into Lululemon?
Honestly, I never knew about it. Like I think my boy,
Here you go
who's
again. His boy. All right, go ahead.
my boy who's a personal trainer. He talked about Lululemon, and honestly, I won't lie. At the time, I was like, "Oh, I didn't even know Lululemon." My thought process wasn't, "Oh, Lululemon was for women." Women. My thought
Mm-hmm.
process was, "Oh, I didn't know they made men's clothing." And then I don't know what happened one day. I think I seen like a Lululemon ad on Instagram or something, and
Mm.
I went and checked the site out. And I was like, at this time, this was like the beginning of quarantine. I was like, man, I really want some new sweatpants, and I was buying like sweatpants. Like I bought some stuff from RYU and everything. So I was like looking for other sweatpants, but I wanted more fitted sweatpants, right? So I mean, I was looking at like Nike and everything, right? And so I came across Lululemon's website and I seen the sweatpants, the men's section. I was like, oh, they were expensive as hell, but I was like, you know what, man? I'm feeling like, I want to try something new. I want to, because my issue is that I tend to buy a lot of the same things from the same places. I was like, you know
Mm-hmm.
what? I want to try something new. So I ordered them, and I had forgot that I ordered them, and then they came one day, and I was like, oh, okay. And I tried them on. I was like, yo, these are fantastic. So like my first pair of Lulu sweatpants, I just got like 2 months ago. So
Okay. I thought somehow a girl influenced you, but
no, no, it wasn't
I
a.
was wrong.
It was not a woman at all. I mean, even though women tend to influence a lot of my decisions,
When it
but
comes to clothing, or
in general, in life in
okay.
general, but not that time. Matter of fact, Norman, take that out. Don't.
I mean, you were raised by your grandmother, so we could just think about that angle.
I should say a lot of it is because I've come across a lot of strong, independent, intelligent women that have
Mm,
influenced me and inspired me, which is
mm.
why that
Actually,
is.
this is not that dissimilar for me because when I was being raised, my father was very much absent from my upbringing. So really, I was raised by my mother and my sister,
Mm.
and yet I'm not shopping at Lululemon. So
Oh, wow, what does
God
that mean?
damn, son.
Wow, Norman.
Damn.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Burn.
Damn,
Look,
son.
man, you could do something easy, Redman. I just
Damn,
Googled
son.
Lululemon and I click images, and honestly, all I'm seeing is
why don't we do that
woman
exercise
stuff.
right now?
That's it.
You know what? It just came up for me. Lululemon sells men. Look at the men's best. Oh, actually,
Come on, man. That's because that's all you're looking. So that's the first thing that will pop up on your Google search, man. Let's be honest.
oh, you know what? You know what? That's what happened when I was looking up stuff. I think that's how Lululemon came up. I was looking for sweatpants,
Sweatpants. Okay.
and like Lululemon was one of the options that came up. So that I think that's how I figured it out. That's how I found it.
All right. No Under Armour, none of that.
No, so I looked at Under Armour. Like I'm buying some stuff from Under Armour too.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of those compression pants and stuff that I'm probably gonna wear when I like to work out and stuff. And I was looking for hats and stuff. So like I wasn't just looking at Lululemon. I was looking Nike, like all these places. What's another one? Another brand I can't remember.
Adidas,
No,
Reebok,
I don't tend to like Adidas that much and Reebok.
cheap.
So
Guys, look at the chat and click on that link.
Bro, it's just women stuff like fanny pack. Well, fanny pack is not for, but you know what I mean. Like short for women,
I mean,
running shorts,
the first thing that
training
showed up,
pants.
the first thing that
Yeah.
showed up was like a Lululemon woman's high-rise skirt. It's like
Like
the number one, the number one product.
yeah.
So
they gotta work on their marketing. To be
I
honest,
mean, it's
it's
still a
gonna
lot
take
of
time
stuff
though.
is a woman thing, but I mean, listen, there's men's stuff. The point is, there's men's stuff,
All right.
and y'all need to try it out. Oh my God, these shorts are on
But
sale for $39.
what are you talking about? The ladies one?
No, men's shorts. I'm looking at men's shorts. I don't give a fuck about no women's shorts.
Yo, that's I thought I could trap you, but clearly that didn't work.
No, you
Uh,
can't trap me. You can't trap me, sir.
yeah. You
My
know what
fault.
annoys me, man? We're talk about clothing. When you go to a store and you try, you just looking around, and this one chick who really want, I guess, a bonus or whatever, she asks you like 5 times if you need help.
because
Like,
you
do you need me to say
Oh,
this in different
yeah.
languages? Like, I don't need help,
yeah,
yo.
man, they're having a dope ass sale. Yo, sorry,
Look at
man.
this guy, not even answering my shit. No, it's fine, man.
Um,
No,
What's the
I
sale
heard it
about?
though. No, no,
ooh, this jacket
I
is
can comment.
fire.
Uh,
I, I can comment on that. What this guy is looking at his deals. Yeah, no, I've seen that happen so many times, and I always
yeah,
wonder. And I think what it is like this salespeople get commission right from the sales,
I get
and
it,
so
but
they
like,
really want to get that commission from you, and that's why they ask you because if they figure if you ask so many times, you're gonna say okay, 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 yeah, help, help.
yeah, but don't annoy me into getting your commission, man. Like, there's a way to go about it. Well, I guess annoying works, and being annoying does work.
But
Yo,
now, especially because of COVID, there's
That's
going to be they're gonna be more annoying because they're
mm,
more desperate
oh my
because it's
god,
gonna be
yes.
less people going to stores, and so the moment that they get people in, they're gonna be like, okay, we're really gonna get these guys
Like
money.
to no, for
Really
sure,
gonna get
and
shop,
maybe
and so
maybe post COVID, I'll be less sensitive about it, and more, you know, open minded, I guess. But that's one thing that I don't like with the shopping experience. First of all, when I even shop, I don't even look for things. Like, I already know what I want, right? So I go and let's say I'm looking for short. I'll go to that search section and then just look specific what I want and go try it.
I'm a top you on that one though. I'm gonna top you. What
Okay, go
annoys
ahead.
me is when you go to the store and you can't get nobody to give you no service, or nobody to
Interesting.
come and ask
What
you
kind of
like
store though?
what? Yeah, like what? Yeah,
in
like
anything,
Walmart.
like a department store or a clothing store.
Foot
Like
Locker.
what do you say?
This man. Foot Locker. When they
I'm a,
know
I'm
like you don't
a
look like somebody who wanna
bro.
buy, bro, they
No,
don't give a damn.
Foot Locker.
Are you
Foot Locker
serious?
is one of those
Yeah.
places. Foot Locker is one of those places where you get like five people to be like, yo, you need anything? And be like, no, I'm good, I'm good. But like, there's
What
some
is the what is? I'm just curious. What is the kind of people that they think they are gonna buy?
I don't
Can
know,
you share?
man. Maybe I got that nerdy look, you know what I'm saying? Of not like wanting to buy spec shoes, especially when they look at me maybe wearing Birkenstock or whatever the fuck. They're like,
Yeah.
man, I don't know. I'm not gonna talk to this dude. I got that impression anyways.
I
When
don't
I
Really?
go to
I don't
yeah,
I don't tend to shop at
Foot Locker.
yeah, because I'm not a sneaker person. So like if I'm
Yeah.
going to get
I've
like
never been a sneakerhead, but them Jordans though, oh,
yeah, so
so
like
fire.
bro, these jackets,
Yeah.
yo, they got a dope fire sale going on at Lululemon right now.
Yo, Lululemon, please give this dude some ads, son.
Like can we get
Clearly. Yeah.
can I get
Missing.
can I get your menswear? Like I would be your brand ambassador for the menswear so we can get more awareness. Yo, I legit am like I feel like buying y'all something and sending it to y'all. Just because y'all need to
You wanna
embrace
get it?
Shit, I'll
You wanna
take
get
it.
it?
Oh, you'll
You
take
wanna
it.
get it?
I'll
Yeah.
take free shit.
Yeah, I take free shit. I'm not saying no to free shit. Oh man.
I may give it to my female friend though. That's
Wow.
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Why would it's made for men, bro? It won't fit her.
Look at this guy regifting. My man.
Yeah. Why,
I'll be honest, man. I love regifting, man. Especially stuff that, I know I'm never gonna use because my mom, she always buy me these oversized shirts, like nice shirts too, like polos or whatever, and she still think I got a stomach, which I don't know how she thinks that,
you
but
know what annoys me? You,
so I just regifted to somebody else, man. That's it.
you know what annoys me
Hmm.
is when people regift gifts that you gave for them that were made for them and they give to another person.
Hey
Wow.
man, you and my mom, I guess, are on the same page. But yo, it's not that I don't appreciate the gift. It's like it's useless to me right now, right? Because clearly it's oversized. So hey, little brother, here you go, man. I bought you some.
Yeah, I'm
Eat.
lying. I tend to regift
You know
stuff.
you know what I mean?
I
So
regift things like I remember my mom gave my grandmother this electric wine opener, right? And
what?
I hope my mom never hears this. My mom gave her an electric wine opener, and my grandma was like, "I don't want this shit," and I was just like, "I don't
I'll
want
take
this,"
it.
right? Well, yeah, I was
Mhm.
like, "Take it," but I was like, "I don't want it either." You know, I'm not that big connoisseur of wine. So I ended up giving it to at the time my then girlfriend.
Mhm.
who really loves it, and probably I bet she still enjoys it to this day.
Yeah, ask her back. I'd say, man, relationship over. I need my wine opener, bro.
What's so funny? It's so funny. Is like after that, right? I started to buy more wine because like I'd host people, and so like I like to have wine over when people come over just to have some options. And then after that, I was like, damn, I could really use that electric wine opener right now.
Hmm.
That shit is a sunk cost. Can't get that back.
Yo, do you think during COVID you drank more than ever? I
Uh,
know the answer for Norman, but
I,
for you,
you mean like
I said
like alcohol? Like alcohol?
alcohol, yes,
No,
yes.
I've definitely drank less. I mean, I don't. I'm not
Really?
a big drinker. Not a big drinker in general. I'm more of a social drinker. Like if like I don't
Mm,
drink, I don't tend to drink by myself.
okay.
But yeah, I've drank less. I can only tell you the last time I had a drink. I think was it playing video games with you guys or something like a couple of weeks ago when I had Norman had a drink and I was
Oh,
like, you know,
and we played till 2 a.m.
yeah, and I think
Yeah.
that was the last time I had a drink. I haven't had a drink since.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What about you, Norman?
well, you know the answer. I certainly have. I have been known to have more drinks. I mean, I don't get it like wasted or whatever.
Yeah,
I
you're
just
not
have
alcoholic. Yeah.
have a beer here and there, and when I'm celebrating something with friends online,
Hmm.
I can go a little bit on the exercise, but exercise, but I don't do it often.
Yeah, but you
You know
know,
what's so funny? You know what's so funny?
But generally, it's like I also know that if I drink too much, I don't feel good the next day. So it's
mhm.
like I also like, why would I want to feel bad? I don't want to feel bad. So I was like, I know, like if I have a drink, I'll have 2 drinks maximum, and if I know that if I do more, I'm gonna just feel horrible the next day. So why would I want to feel like sick? I'm the next day. I don't want to feel like sick. I want to feel
Nah,
good.
man, that's
You know what's so funny is so I have a little area like I have a bit of alcohol, right? And it's like bottles I've collected like over the years when I've had parties and stuff, and or when I buy alcohol that I want to have in my stash. 'Cause I'm trying to get this bar cart. So I took a picture of it. This is like beginning of quarantine. I took a picture. I put it on Instagram and was like, "Oh, you guys think I have enough to hold me during the quarantine? LOL." And I got so many messages like, "Yo, that's a lot. Like, you okay?" Blah, blah, blah. And it was so
you're an
funny because
alcoholic.
yeah, you're an alcoholic. And I remember responding to somebody. I was like, "Yo, if I was an alcoholic, these bottles would be empty, and they're all full."
And
So,
why would you even like post it as an
well,
alcoholic?
yeah, no, come on now. Like, what?
Like, you know,
So,
yeah.
but that's again, that's just interpretation because when I posted it, I didn't think people were gonna be like, "Yo, he's got a lot of alcohol," and it's like, no,
Mm,
I keep alcohol on here, but like, I don't drink it every day. I don't have any. Like, it's literally some of the alcohol I have. Yeah, I have bottles I have never opened that I've had for like 2 years.
mhm.
So guys, I don't wanna cut it suddenly, but I'm gonna have like a client call in 5 minutes.
Mhm.
So I think it's
So you want to cut it suddenly?
But pretty much.
I do want to cut it suddenly, yeah. But no, but I think we should like the idea. I think this idea that we had about talking about things that annoy us. I suggest that we do our next episode on this series on talking about just things that annoy us in relationships, and that's it.
Oh,
Sorry.
I'll tell you one right now. I'll give you a preview quickly. Yo,
Give it,
you playing video games, right? And then your
yeah,
girl don't understand you're playing something that is online, right? It's not something that you can pause, and
yeah.
that she feels like you're not paying her attention, so she just unplug your console. Bro, that shit annoys me, man.
That's
Oh,
happened to you?
wow, that's
Yeah,
happened to
bro.
me.
Yep.
Ooh,
Oh, that sucks,
bro.
man.
Now you're like, all right. So how we gonna deal with this? Do I have to shave your eyebrow or something? Like how
Wow, that's oh,
how we gonna counter this? Cause you fuck up my game, man. My ranking is fucked up now. So yeah.
so you gonna fuck up her eyebrows? Damn,
Yo, hey man, I'm not a violent person, so we gotta do something. You took my ranking away. I gotta take something away from you. Like what is it? The nails
That
or what's up?
that would really hurt, man.
Yeah, I
That would
guess
actually that you would get killed if you did that. That would really.
probably. probably.
Yeah, you're dead.
I'm
Goodbye.
I'm just
Piano.
playing, y'all. But seriously, like, why you unplugging my console, man? How do you think that will make me feel?
I think there's a perception, there's a wrong perception of women that think that because you're an adult and you're playing video games, you're kind of have like this childish behavior, which is not. Because video games have evolved, just like a lot of other things have evolved from how they were, and now they're not just like given to kids only, but it's something that has evolved in a way that is actually very much adult content
Hmm.
that kids shouldn't be using, and it's totally okay for adults to be doing it.
Speak for
And I
yourself.
think
I'm a
there's
grown ass man child out here.
All right, says the guy who play with us all the time. All right,
Yeah,
man.
I'm a grown ass man.
yeah.
I just like
But just before we go, Redman, can you just tell us more about your podcast and where could people find you?
Oh yeah, so the podcast is called Young Pros Talk. It's on all streaming platforms: iTunes, music, or excuse me, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, I think as well. Like it's pretty much you can find it. You can follow us on Instagram, Young Pros Talk, and yeah, that's pretty much.
It's
I
great.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, guys. So until next time,
Till
we
next
talk
time.
about
Can't wait.
Can't wait.
relationships.
Sure.
Yeah.
I just have to find a
All right.
relationship first. And then I'll
All
let
right,
you know how
guys.
I go.
Uh,
All right.
Later.
Later, fellas.